I will not make any deals with you. I've resigned. I will not be pushed, filed, stamped, indexed, briefed, debriefed, or numbered. My life is my own.
Let's go now to Matthew chapter 17 in the New Testament. Matthew chapter 17 in the New Testament. Verses 24 through 27. This is a pretty famous, if you're a Christian, you've heard this preached a lot, but based on what I've already preached and taught you, think about the power of this and the truth in this, that even Jesus himself, who paid taxes, did what needed to be done, but he really spoke about the hypocrisy in these few scriptures, and he explained it to his few disciples, and basically they actually paid their taxes ultimately miraculously. God provided taxes miraculously, kind of like it as a thumb in the nose or affront to these leaders. Fine, I'll pay taxes, but it's not going to come from a source you guys understand. So anyway, let's read this though. Matthew 17, starting in verse 24 through 27. And when they were come to Capernaum, they that received tribute money came to Peter and said, Doth not your master pay tribute? And he said, Yes. And when he was come into the house, Jesus prevented him, saying, What thinkest thou, Simon? Of whom do the kings of the earth take custom or tribute? Of their own children or of strangers? Peter saith unto him, Of strangers. Jesus say unto him, Then are the children free. Notwithstanding, lest we should offend them, go thou to the sea, and cast an hook, and take up the fish that first cometh up. And when thou hast opened his mouth, thou shalt find a piece of money. That take and give unto them for me and for thee. So this is very interesting. So these powers that be came to Jesus and the disciples and said, do you guys not pay taxes like the rest of us? Trying to catch them, trying to manipulate any way they could distort the truth or catch Jesus and his disciples in an error. Those Pharisees and Sadducees and wicked leaders at the time were looking for any way they could get in. And so now they thought, well, we'll try the money trick. Well, sure enough, Jesus, being full of the wisdom and power of God, always answered them and said, yes, we do pay tribute. And then as soon as he acknowledged that, he then turned to Peter and maybe some other disciples who were there, and he said, let me tell you, we are going to pay this because it's what the laws are right now. Now, I don't necessarily believe these laws are correct or true, but you do have to submit to a certain degree to certain authorities over you. And so we don't create more strife or get more accusations coming at us, so we don't lose track of our focus and what we're really trying to do here, which is preach the gospel and spread the gospel. Let's pay this unjust bill and let's get on with it. But I'm going to have play a little game with these guys. Okay. So even Jesus acknowledged, and this is the key verse here, that goes back and reflects on what I just preached about in, 1 Samuel chapter 8. First, Jesus turns to Peter and says, what thinkest thou, Simon or Peter? Of whom do the kings of the earth take custom or tribute? Of their own children or strangers? And Peter said unto him, of strangers. Right, Jesus said, good job. Jesus said unto him, then are the children free or exempt? So all these people that have money and live in these government-funded situations, they get to not have to pay the taxes. Neither do their kids get to pay the taxes. But yeah, the normal people like you and I, Peter, the middle class, yep, we get stuck with the bill. It's not good, it's not right, but until laws are changed, things are changed, we gotta, suck it up and do it. So, but let's not offend. But then Jesus had always had a supernatural twist to it. He says, but you know what? So we don't have to dig it out of our own money bags. Here's the deal. Go down to the river, the water, grab that fish that comes up, pull the coin out of his mouth, pay the taxes, and let's get on with our ministry. And so he did that. And there was a miracle. There was there was a coin in that fish's mouth, and he paid the taxes. So Jesus himself even acknowledges the hypocrisy, the evil, and how the way of the world works. Those people in power, they share it, they keep it amongst themselves. They don't pay taxes, they don't pay the tributes, you know, they hide their money offshore somewhere, or they have insider trading. They're just creeps. They're creeps. They're not following God. They're disgusting and they're an offense. But nevertheless, we have a bigger priority, bigger mission on, so let's go do it. So I hope you learned something from this. And if anything else, I hope it would stir some of you to action by the Spirit of God. I don't like doing things in the flesh, but if the Spirit of God is stirring in you and He's calling you, maybe I should call my representative. Maybe I should, you know, stand on the street corner with a sign while I still have some freedoms. And maybe I should, you know, vote for a certain candidate or run for office myself on this ticket that I'm going to reduce taxes. One of the things I heard from this isn't really out of the Bible necessarily, but just wisdom. And that is, I've heard some, you know, good economist people that don't believe in the whole tax situation and how abusive the power, you know, nevertheless we got to pay it. But they said, you know, if we just had a flat tax for everybody, like 20%, then everybody pays the same, whether you're rich or poor. Then there wouldn't be all this income tax evasion, wouldn't be all this manipulation, wouldn't be all these huge government organizations that we need to support, you know, like, you know, secret agencies that aren't accountable to anybody, like the CIA or the FBI or the NSA, you know, that we as just average people that feed them, support them. We don't know what they're doing with our money half the time. It finds out when things do get exposed. It's a lot of bad stuff. So just having a 20% regular flat tax rate would take care of a lot of problems. And some people even think, including myself, you could probably do it on 10%. That would force the government to be really lean and mean and be accountable for everything. And anything that was pork or fat would get cut out, because knowing they only have 10% of the people's incomes to support militaries and everything else, defense and, you know, social services, 10% would probably more than adequate with 350, 60 million people in this country right now. So anyway, those are just some quick thoughts to get people thinking outside the box. I'm not saying we don't need some kind of leadership or government authority. You know, we left the theocracy of God way back in 1 Samuel. Too bad we don't have, you know, prophets hearing from God right now, leading the country and all that stuff, but that's gone by the wayside now. That's never going to get restored until Jesus comes back. So we're going to be stuck with worldly leaders. We're going to be stuck with some people that know God, some don't know God, some halfway think they know the scriptures, running things. So it's always going to be dysfunctional. But you know what? Maybe we can make a difference and reduce this taxation without representation. Because surely as I close, the power to tax is the power to destroy. That's for sure. All right. Blessings to all of you. If you like this video, please share it. Hit the like button. Donate if you're getting fed to this thing. By this thing, there's a donate button at the bottom. Please send the link to whoever you want. We'll see you next time. God bless. Mike Show. Thank you for joining us. If you like this teaching, please consider donating by clicking on the PayPal link in the description area of this video. If you would like to contact me directly, you may email me at thecaptainmikeshow@yahoo.com.
Be seeing you.